This video is instructing you on how to complete a U.S. history lesson from start to finish. So if you have any questions on how to do a checkpoint, a quiz, or where to find textbook pages, or how to get through the lesson in general, this will help you do that. When you come into your U.S. history course, you're going to see a listing of announcements. You want to go into your announcements for the week, click on that, and scroll down. It will be like a calendar of events here of things that you need to do each day. Let's use 2/1/13, so Friday, February 1st, as an example. If you scroll down here, you'll see that today you're supposed to be working on lessons 110 and 111. There's a checkpoint for both lessons, and there is a live session scheduled. This might not be the time of your live session, but your time for will be listed appropriately in your announcements. In this area here, it will tell you what assignments are due and what you need to have submitted to me to be on course or on time with your work in U.S. history. Okay, so you have two checkpoints, and the Getting to Know You assignment is due today. So that's an example of what you would be looking at. So what you would need to do here is go into your course, click on Unit 1, scroll down, and go to Lesson 110 or 111. Okay, you're going to start with 110 and complete that first, and then you're going to go to Lesson 111 once you have completed 110. Let's use 111 as an example of what you need to do to complete your work. Click on Lesson 111. You want to always start in the online course first. Read through the introduction of the lesson and what your goals are for the lesson. That will give you an idea of what you should know to be successful in this lesson and prepare for a quiz or for a test. In this lesson, your daily checklist is usually the second slide. I think it's almost always the second slide. It will tell you what textbook pages you need to read. So for this lesson, you need to do textbook pages 94 to 111. If there are no pages in the textbook for this lesson, none will be listed. If there's a reading guide, it will tell you that there is a reading guide you have to finish. It will list any online activities that you need to do, and will also prompt you if there is a checkpoint or a quiz to complete for part of this lesson as well. Make sure that you use this checklist to guide you through the lesson and do each and every step. If you skip one of these, you're probably going to have more questions and it will take you longer than it would have to just go through each step along the way. Okay, so first read your read your textbook pages, and then go into the course and make sure that you download your reading guide. Your reading guide is usually on the third page. Download it here. Reading guides frequently will not allow you to type on them. You may have to print them out and write your responses. If you want to submit 2 of them per unit for extra credit, you need to scan it and send it to me in the Dropbox. The other option that you can do is just open up a Word type document and number the questions like 1 through 10 if there were 10 questions, and just type the answer for each, and you can submit that. Okay, so if you prefer to type, you can do that. Once you have read the textbook and completed your reading guide, you then want to make sure you read the lesson slides and complete any activities. In this particular lesson, these activities are very important because slavery in the 18th century America activity is tied to your checkpoint. That's why I'm saying it's very important not to skip steps, because if you do, your checkpoint might become very confusing, or your quiz might become very confusing. Okay, so you want to click on each activity, complete them as directed. Sometimes a checkpoint will ask you to give you a word. And if it asks you to give you a word, that means you have an activity to complete. When you're done with the activity, it's going to give you like a key code or a password to get credit for that checkpoint. So when you finish, for example, this activity, Slavery in 18th Century America, and you go through the whole thing, it's going to give you a word. Now, when it gives you that word, make sure you enter it into the checkpoint for that lesson exactly as it appears. So if it's capitalized, you need to capitalize it. If there's a hyphen, you need to include a hyphen. If it is spelled a certain way, you have to make sure it's spelled exactly correctly to get credit for the checkpoint. Okay. As you go through the rest of your lesson, you'll notice that sometimes highlights appear if it's at the end of a chapter. Make sure that you use these. These are great ways to review for a quiz or for a test. Even keeping them handy in a binder if you want to copy and paste them is helpful too. In U.S. history, we're going to be creating some study guides based off of these as well. The last slide in this lesson is going to prompt you to make sure that you go and you take your checkpoint. So when you reach this slide and you've completed the rest of the work in the lesson, you can go to your checkpoint, which is right below. Click on Begin Checkpoint. Read the reminders, and again it says right here, enter the word you received when you completed the Slavery in 18th Century America activity. So if it's asking you for a word, again it's telling you which activity that you need to complete. Enter that word here, again as exactly as it appeared in the box after you completed your checkpoint. Then click Save Answers and then Submit for grading. If you just click Save Answers, it won't submit it in the gradebook. So make sure you click Submit for grading and it gets to me in the gradebook. Okay, so that's how to complete a lesson. Most of what I showed you in lesson 111 is typical of what you're going to find in a lesson. Again, it's really most important that you guys know how to start in the online lesson itself and really use this daily checklist to go step by step through. Don't skip around. You'll probably end up missing something that you needed to do and unfortunately losing points. So go step by step each of the way through. Okay? If you have any questions, let me know.